The late afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the bustling streets of Yaba, Lagos. Vendors shouted their wares with pride, and the air buzzed with the sound of danfos honking and Afrobeat music thumping from nearby kiosks. Amid the chaotic beauty, Amaka stood by her mother's wooden mango stall, expertly arranging a fresh pile of the golden fruits. Her skin glistened with sweat, and her headscarf, now damp at the edges, framed her determined face. Life was hard, but she had learned to find joy in the little things, like the sweet taste of a ripe mango, or the smile of a satisfied customer. Down the street, a sleek black SUV crawled through the traffic, its tinted windows shielding its occupants from the world outside. Inside sat Chuka Obiler, the 17-year-old heir to Obiler Enterprises. He was tall, lean, and sharply dressed in a designer polo and sunglasses. Bored of the opulence that wrapped around his life like a golden cage, he absent-mindedly looked out the window until his eyes landed on Amaka. There was something striking about the way she wiped her brow and smiled at an old woman buying mangoes. Something real. Chuka had seen many girls, on yachts, in private schools, and at elite parties, but none had the raw, sunlit beauty of the girl selling mangoes. His interest piqued. He leaned forward, tapping his driver. "Stop here for a minute." The driver, confused but obedient, pulled over near the stall. Chuka stepped out, drawing curious stares from the roadside vendors. Clad in his clean-cut designer clothes, he was out of place, but didn't seem to care. Amaka noticed him instantly. She'd seen wealthy types before, usually zooming past without a second glance, but this one was different. He walked toward her, not arrogantly, but curiously, almost shyly. "How much for one mango?" he asked, his voice smooth but hesitant. She raised an eyebrow, half amused, half intrigued. "50 naira. But rich boys like you usually don't stop to ask." He chuckled, surprised by her boldness. As she handed him a mango, their fingers brushed. It was a small moment, but one that neither of them would forget. Chuka took a bite of the mango right there, the juice dripping down his fingers. "It's the best mango I've ever had," he said, wiping his hand on a tissue his driver handed him. Amaka folded her arms, trying not to smile. "You're just saying that because you've never bought one from the roadside before." He laughed, his shoulders relaxing. There was something refreshing about her honesty. They talked for a few more minutes, about school, about how hot the weather was, about how hard it was to keep mangoes from spoiling. Nothing important, yet everything felt new. Chuka promised to return the next day, and Amaka nodded, unsure if he meant it. As the SUV drove away, Amaka's mother raised an eyebrow. "You know who that is?" she asked. Amaka shrugged, trying to ignore the flutter in her chest. But deep down, she knew this was not just a chance meeting. Something had been set in motion. At his elite private school in Victoria Island, Chuka couldn't focus. While his classmates discussed fashion and weekend plans in London, his mind wandered to the girl in Yaba. He wondered if she would be at the stall again, if she would still talk to him, or if she'd think he was just playing. His best friend, Ifni, noticed his distraction. "You day zone out like say you see angel." "Weddin' happen." Chuka smiled, shaking his head. "Just thinking." He wasn't ready to share Amaka with anyone. Not yet. Meanwhile, Amaka sat under the shade of their mango tree, peeling fruits for a customer. Her thoughts were also far away, on the strange boy with the kind eyes and clean hands. She didn't know much about him, only that he was different. And that difference both intrigued and frightened her. True to his word, Chuka returned the next afternoon, this time without the SUV. He wore simple jeans and a plain t-shirt, hoping to blend in more. He found Amaka laughing with her younger brother, and the sound stopped him in his tracks. Amaka looked up, surprised but secretly pleased. "You came back," she said. "I said I would." He smiled. "Do you always doubt people?" "Only the ones who show up looking like they've never sweated a day in their life," she replied, handing him a slice of mango. They talked more, about school, life, music, and their dreams. For Chuka, it was a window into a world not defined by money. For Amaka, it was a taste of something she never thought she could have. And as they parted that day, both knew this was more than a casual friendship. Years later, under the same mango tree, Chuka and Amaka sat hand in hand. Their daughter ran around them, laughter echoing. They had faced judgment, obstacles, and heartbreak, but built a life sweeter than any mango. And as the sun set over Yaba, the world seemed quieter, kinder, because love, true, tested, and triumphant, had found its place. In mangoes, in mansions, in forever.